Hello, thank you so much for clicking on this reading. I'm very excited because this is the first ever love reading that I'm posting on this channel. Little announcement, I reopened my Etsy shop, so I have 3 readings on there currently that I'm selling. They're video readings. I have a kind of like this, similar to this, an energy love check-in reading, just to see the energy between you and your person, kind of what's going to happen or what's most likely to happen. I have a what you're currently manifesting reading, which is kind of basically an energy check on you right now and what you're calling in, and a general what you need to know, whatever needs to come through will come through. So if you're interested, I don't set like a time limit on those readings. It's anywhere from like 5 to 20 minutes depending on just how long the message is. But yeah, if you're interested in a personal reading, the link will be in my bio. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay. Hi, I just finished recording all of the groups. Every time I say I'm just gonna do a quick 30-minute, like each pile's gonna be 30 minutes. It's gonna be good, short, sweet. I don't even have a lot of like sections to do. I literally just did an energy check and then tarot. I thought it was going to be short, and I think all of the readings are an hour. So yeah, lots of stuff, lots of info. Basically I did an energy check for each reading. The AC just came on, and I love to announce every time it comes on. Anyways, actually, let's start over. What is this reading about? This is a how does your person feel about you right now? This is a love reading. Basically, how I set it up, I do an energy check at the beginning just to kind of get the vibes, make sure that you found your pile. I did do your person on this side and you on this side. I'll kind of explain that more in the readings, and then a connecting, or like the energy of the connection in the middle. And then after that, I did some tarot to see how they feel about you, and I did get one card from the Moonology deck towards the end as sort of like a what is likely to happen. I didn't go like super in depth, but I wanted to kind of see where is this connection headed, so I did get a little bit of that in there, and we ended with some messages from the healing angel cards. And yeah, pretty much. So let's get into picking your pile. For pile 1, we have the Phantom Wise Tarot with this labradorite point. It is dark right now, so you can't really see the magic of the labradorite. You can kind of see it, like the blue specks, but yeah. For pile 2, we have Cats Rule the World Tarot with this flower agate point. And then for pile 3, we're using the Mystical Manga Tarot and this opalite point. Okay, so pause the video. Of course, if you need more time to pick, yeah, that's pretty much all. You can be drawn to any or all of the piles, but we are going to get started with pile 1. Hi, pile 1. If you chose the, what is this again? The Phantom Wise, pretty sure, tarot deck with the Labradorite. As I was pressing record on my phone, in my head was like saying, the intro before, and I also said Larimar in my head. So Larimar could be a significant stone. I actually have earrings made out of Larimar that I got from my boyfriend for Christmas, because I got him a Larimar necklace. So Larimar actually looks kind of similar, to this, and it's a very spiritual stone, like many. So is labradorite. So I feel like in general, I have already looked at these cards, so I will say that there is a very spiritual nature to there's a spirit. I'm gonna get into it. This card specifically, I just want to flip it over. I'm sorry. It's the higher, it says higher power. So basically your connection right now, I can say, is being divinely guided, is being watched over. Also, the AC just turned on, so I hope that's not too loud. But anyways, we're gonna get into it. This is a very spiritual, like, I feel like right now, I'll get more into this. I haven't even flipped the cards over. I feel like right now in your connection with this person, things have been stagnant, but they are picking up and there's new beginnings coming. And we're getting into that. And there's a lot happening in the spiritual realm, and there's a lot, there's a lot right now that you haven't. I'm getting this weird, hold on. This really weird feeling in my throat. I don't know why. There could be throat chakra blocks. Maybe y'all aren't communicating. I guess maybe y'all are not communicating right now, but we're gonna get into it. I need to drink some water first, so give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, either y'all aren't communicating at the moment, like a lot, or you feel like there's something stuck in your throat. You feel like there are things that aren't being said. But anyways, this side is going to represent your person's energy in the connection. This side's gonna represent you, and the middle is gonna represent the energy of the connection right now. So yeah, I know that some readings like this can be complicated, especially if like you see yourself in this side or this side. I'm gonna keep it to where, like, since we're doing how they feel about you, this is going to be like their side, and if you resonate with it, there just could be some mirroring. But obviously this is your reading, so you can interpret it however you'd like, however feels right to you. So starting with their energy, we have the card that says Toni Morrison with power. This also, both of y'all got people, and that this deck doesn't just have people, it has like different symbols, and then like the major arcana, I guess you could say, of this deck is like the authors in them. So they got the horse, and this card also says power. I don't know if I mentioned that. And then death. I am learning that endings are merely beginnings. For your energy, we have Angela Carter with identity. We have indecision. And you got two animal cards. You got the peacock and the octopus. Okay. And for the energy of the connection, there's higher power with moon goddess and writer number 1. So I initially wasn't even going to use, I was just going to use one card for the connecting energy, but I wanted more information, so I got this one. This card talks about, obviously it talks about a higher power looking over you right now, and in this case the connection. This does tell me that this is a divine time for the both of you, and also just that this either is a divine connection, or like I don't want to use the word karmic because I know that there's like a negative connotation to karmic relationships. I don't think it's like a karmic relationship, but I do think that maybe this could be a time where y'all are both, what's the word? Paying karmic debts, and whatever it is, I think that y'all were meant to meet each other, whether it's for a short period of time or a long period of time. I think that y'all were meant to help each other balance some karma and help each other learn, especially with like just everything that's coming out here. There's a lot of self-transformation for the both of y'all. And this card also talks about things being stagnant or confusing. And this card talks about action and things, literally new beginnings, things starting to take off, similar to the Chariot card. And I think that's very important, especially because it talks about things like just kind of starting to gain momentum. And that very much feels, I feel like in y'all's, like maybe this will be the confirmation that this is for you. It might, in whatever way, y'all's connection might have been feeling stagnant and confusing maybe, and just not like things are clear. Whether or not y'all are like in communication currently, it might just feel like even if y'all are communicating, it would feel a little bit confusing and feel a little bit like maybe like you're losing them, or like why aren't they communicating like they used to. I feel like there's stuff they're not saying, and it's just a little bit confusing or a lot. And so I feel like that is coming to an end, and I want to start with their energy because I don't know exactly, I can't say like exactly what they've gone through, but it seems like right now they're in an energy. Both of these cards talk about power, and this card talks about, did I read this card? Sorry, I don't know if I read the little thing. It says, I use my intuition in all aspects of life. Anyways, this card talks about like new beginnings. I'm learning that endings are merely beginnings. So I think that this card is literally all about freedom, expansion. They seem to be in a very independent energy. So if you've been feeling kind of like they've been pulling away, or like they've just been, like more independent, I think that has been their energy, but it's not because they don't like you or don't like the connection with you. I think that whether or not they've like shared this or not, have just been going through, like you've helped them and they have also helped you. Y'all's like connection has, what's the word, inadvertently, accidentally, like y'all aren't directly trying to like saying like, hey, let's pay off our karmic debts with each other, or like let's end this karmic cycle together. It's more like just y'all's connection, which I can't tell if it's new or not, because this could also be a connection that you've had for a while. Like this could be a relationship that you've been in and things have just felt kind of a little bit stuck or slow lately, or you can tell that both of y'all are going through a transformation, and their energy is honestly really good. They're in an energy right now of taking, like this feels less like their connection or their energy in the connection, and because it feels just very independent, but in a way so does yours. Their energy feels very like whether or not they've said something or not, they have been affected by, whether or not they realize it, they've been affected directly by your energy and just being around you. And it honestly is just one of those things where sometimes when you meet someone that you're divinely guided to meet, it's not just y'all that will like trigger each other's it's not just like the connection that will be triggering. It's like it kind of, it's like one step in the right direction. Like you do one thing and it's like a domino effect. Meeting each other or being together is like a domino effect for other things that happen in your lives, and it seems kind of like that's what this is. I feel like this honestly isn't like super new. It could be, but I feel like it's like either you're in a relationship, but not for like, it could be, you could be together for a long time or could have been, but it feels like a connection that has either been together for like a little bit, like a year in, like it feels like either like, whether you're in a connection, like in a relationship or not, it feels like if you're not in a relationship, it feels like a connection where you've been talking for a while and going through like the honeymoon phase, and then this is kind of like so yeah, whether or not it's a relationship, like an official, y'all have made it official or not, it feels like there was a period of time at the beginning that was really good. And it's not that right now is bad, it's just that like there are lessons that y'all both need to learn in order to continue and to grow closer, and that kind of just feels like it's just one of those phases. It's just one of those like ebbs rather than flows. So yeah, basically feels like y'all are in an ebb right now, but with this card it's telling me that y'all are getting back in a flow very soon. I feel like because I want to get into the lessons that you have been learning, because y'all's energy is both with two like of the main author cards coming out from this deck, because this is a deck with like, it's like the literary witches deck, so it has authors from different time periods, but this is telling me that y'all are in a very, oh, I just noticed something that that y'all are in a very powerful energy, especially with power coming out. There's so much power coming out over here, but I do want to point something out. She in this picture is looking forward, like she's looking straight. The horse is looking straight, and she in this picture is looking that way, and the peacock's obviously looking that way. And this is important because for you, but these are looking right at each other. So I do feel like y'all are connected. I feel like ultimately, like when I get into the cards, like I feel like you probably clicked on this reading because you're not sure about how they feel about you currently, even if things have been good in the past. I think that right now you're like worrying that like, oh, like is this the end? Are we kind of like falling away from each other? And I don't think that's the case. I just think that like whatever they've been going through in their life has made them, because I really don't know exactly what it is. I wish I could see what was happening before this energy, but I don't know. And all I'm saying is that the energy that they, like whatever they were going through led them to this place where they are now reaching a new beginning. They are changing, and whatever they were going through before was just like, it made them feel a little bit, they were in a little bit of a funk. So, but I feel like it's very interesting. I wonder, because with your energy, I feel like with these two cards coming out, which I do want to say, when I was pulling your animal cards, they like so many wanted to come out like just immediately, and like the energy was just so different. It was very, I don't want to say, like, I feel like you are very focused on them, and it's not a bad thing, but I feel like almost, I don't know for sure, I feel like your energy right now is something that they have kind of gone through, especially like with identity and with your identity. Because I feel like honestly this has a lot to do with being in a healthy relationship. It has a lot to do with boundaries and dependency. Because this card, the octopus card, talks about kind of having murky boundaries, and that could be either boundaries with other people or boundaries like either you're crossing boundaries or someone else, you're letting other people cross boundaries. It could be either one. But with the Peacock card, this card talks about assimilation and being able to digest energies easily. And so that's why I feel like right now you're in this energy of kind of like you may have felt clingy or like you were being too much, or you may have felt really panicked. But I feel like ultimately, like this I don't want to say separation because I don't know if it is a separation, but this energy of all of a sudden kind of seemingly, not actually, but seemingly drifting away from each other and kind of having a more independent energy, and the dynamic between the two of you being different for this short period of time. It feels like it's so funny how the universe works and how like what they're going through, and it may be something that caused them to have more like isolation, but them needing more isolation caused you to be triggered in a way that, which I don't like that word, I'm sorry, I can't think of any other word, but when I say that, I just mean like, I don't mean like you're triggered, I just mean like it like activated healing for you. I mean, yeah, activated, that's a better word. It activated healing that needed to be done for you with your identity and your sense of self, because it can be easy, especially in the honeymoon phase of a relationship or talking stage or whatever it is, in first meeting someone, to lose yourself in them. And I feel like this happens to everybody, most people, just because it's so exciting. It's, you know, it's a very exciting energy. You want to be in it all the time. And sometimes the universe needs to slow us down and kind of pull us away so we can kind of regroup, solidify our own energy again that way. Because I feel like, from what I'm gathering, the universe is on your side in this connection and wants this is a good connection, and I feel like it is supposed to work. But in order for it to be successful, like the universe or whatever, you know, the divine spirit wants to make sure, I feel like my voice is cracking a lot, but the universe wants to make sure that, did my voice just crack again? Whatever. Basically this is happening so y'all can have an even stronger connection, because basically if spirit didn't care about y'all having a good connection, then spirit would not, like, this wouldn't be happening, because your guides wouldn't care about whether or not y'all heal so that you can have an even better connection. So that's basically what is happening. That's what feels like, that's what this feels like right now. And I feel like it's possible, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I feel like it's possible that your person was going through something similar with their identity, and I feel like that's ultimately what this is about. A period of sort of stagnation in the connection so that y'all can build your identity. And, you know, obviously you don't want to just do this for the connection. But something that could help speed things up is by focusing on your own healing. But I honestly feel like if y'all aren't like talking or things aren't going as quickly right now, or they feel kind of distant, based on your person's energy right now, there's a lot of like action. So even if you're still healing, I feel like they're gonna be the one to come forward and like share kind of what's been going on with them. And they're gonna be in a different energy that may be a little bit like jarring, but not in a bad way. But yeah, with this whole like root chakra energy right here, and like you're like in a more, This is like the crown. I mean, it's not literally, but the color is purple. So it's like more crown chakra energy. Also, this is earth energy. You got water and air. You're definitely in a more like healing energy. Even though they may seem isolated, I feel like they are about to start taking action towards you. Like that's what it feels like. And maybe I'm getting a little bit more now on them. I do want to get into the tarot pretty soon here, but something that they might have been dealing with that you may not have known is like insecurities. There may have been insecurities about just like them, whatever, you know, it could have been like, you may think that they don't like you, but it's actually the opposite. It's like, well, you don't make them insecure because it's not your fault, but they actually really, really, really like you. And their insecurities kind of were like coming out for them, and they needed to work on that. And I think that's what a lot of this is about. So in terms of identity, I feel like that's what it was for them. Like this identity card is it on your side. It was making me think like for them, I feel like they were dealing with some issues around identity involving insecurities, maybe on like what they can provide, or maybe they were just doubting themselves and they had to kind of like get in a better headspace again. And on your side, I feel like maybe, which I'm not like diagnosing here, but maybe you have a more anxious attachment style, and where you're, yeah, this feels like a connection that is meant to grow and flourish, but it's also meant to trigger / activate these specific identity issues. I don't want to say identity issues, but in both of y'all, basically there were things around both of y'all's identity that needed healing, and Spirit knew that, and that's why y'all met right now, or like not, you know what I mean. That's why y'all met when you did, and that's why things are happening the way they're happening right now. Things kind of needed to be, before the relationship could deepen, these issues kind of need to be sorted out. And obviously like things aren't just gonna heal and then be healed forever. Like oh, okay, you're done. Like they might, but these are things that may come up in the connection later on, but at the very least y'all are aware of it and y'all are dealing with y'all's issues right now. But yeah, I feel like when it comes to your identity, the issue is being more like, I guess it is kind of security for both of y'all, because there's finding security in yourself without them, and for them it's very, very similar energies. It's just showing up differently. For them it feels more like they need to feel secure in themselves without the self-doubt, without needing validation, without needing direct validation. So yeah, very similar energies, just different. They have a very powerful earth energy to them. Very practical, very grounded, and you have more of a water energy to you. But ultimately, I think that y'all are both very balanced. Yeah, y'all seem like very balanced people that are ready for something like this, for this kind of relationship. So I'm gonna get into the tarot now. Just gonna put these away. Yeah, ultimately very good energy. This is a good reading to start off on. Okay. Lots of cards to put away. Okay. I'll make sure my phone is still recording. I'm going to get some water. Okay. Maybe I should have kept those cards. I just realized that I put them all away. I don't think I've done that for my previous readings. I just usually leave them out. Especially because I'm only using tarot. It's not like I need a bunch of space. Maybe that's indicative of the clean slate which I honestly, yeah, I feel like there's just been a little bit of a heavier energy for the both of y'all lately, just and I feel like it is just one of the ebbs and y'all are coming towards a flow right now. If you're not already in a relationship, I would honestly be willing to bet that y'all would like the next time you hear from them, or like the next time that there's like that energy shift with them, it'll be them kind of making it official. So I think that's good. Okay. Hold on, is my cat is trying to eat something that he's not supposed to be eating. Give me 1 second. Okay, and we are back. So let's see. How does pile 1's person feel about pile 1 right now? Okay, we have the 6 of Pentacles. So yeah, like your person wants to be able to give to you. They could be like a big gift giver, but they definitely want to be able to, they feel like they just see you as so deserving of everything. Socks, stop it. Hold on. Okay. My cat's name is Socks, and he was trying to chew the wire. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop. So if you saw the camera shake, there, that was him. Anyways, your person just sees you as very deserving of, they want to be able to give you the world. Okay, let's get more info. How does pile 1's person feel about pile 1? We have the 8 of Cups. Interesting. I want to get into that in this. Oh, the 4 of Cups. Okay. And the King of Wands. Yeah, I feel like honestly, the 4 of Cups especially has to do with their insecurity around not being able, especially coming after the 6 of Pentacles, the 8 of Cups. They may have, like, their insecurities honestly may have convinced them that they should walk away from this connection for a second. Not to scare you, I don't think that they're going to, especially given that the energy check was not giving like this energy. It was very much giving, this could also be them walking away from their insecurities as well, but I do feel like maybe there was a point, especially with the 4 of Cups, where they felt interesting. Yeah, they felt that they couldn't be who they think that you're deserving of, basically. Okay, one more. Oops. Okay. And we have the 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, lots of see the back of the deck, the King of Cups. What's very interesting is when I initially, like, this is where I'm getting that like balanced energy from, because when I initially was pulling their cards for their energy check, I was getting like a very like strong, like, I when I say I'm strong feminine energy, but I don't mean like it was like strongly feminine. I mean I was getting like a visual of like a masculine feminine energy, if that makes sense. Their energy seems very balanced. I feel like they do have a masculine, oh, it just got a beeping or like a ringing in my ear. I've never experienced that before, yay. Or like at least while doing like a reading online. So there's like achievement unlocked for me. Anyways, yeah, I am getting a masculine energy from them, but not that it really matters. That's just kind of, I just want to say like what energy I'm getting. But the reason that it like sticks out to me is they seem so balanced. At least they're getting balanced. I think that like, because when I think of like an overly masculine energy, like an unchecked masculine energy, it can be, because obviously masculine energy is associated with, you know, providing and all that shit. So when you have like an unchecked masculine energy, which everyone has masculine and feminine energy, someone with too much masculine energy may be so obsessed with being able to provide and so obsessed. I mean, they had a lot of earth energy, which is a masculine energy, and someone with too much masculine energy can be so obsessed with money and providing that they basically think that that's all that they're worth, and they don't see the feminine aspects of life and how it has to all be balanced, and how we're not just like money making machines. We also are emotional creatures that need emotional and mental like nourishment. And I think that they are balancing that. I think that that's kind of, maybe they grew up in like a family, or the kind of like expected them to be, I mean, I feel like a lot of people grow up like this, where your worth is kind of seen in what you can produce, stuff like your grades, or just like how well you're doing, your achievements. And I think that that might have been a block for them. So I think that both of y'all are healing like inner child wounds. With the Ten of Pentacles especially, I see like not a lot of emotional based cards came out, other than the Eight of Cups and Four of Cups, which seem to be honestly like a lot about how they feel about themselves, and or like not in a selfish way, but just like they want to be able to be this King of Wands. But I feel like honestly, with where it came out, in next to the Ten of Pentacles, I feel like they are reaching that point where they feel secure enough to be with you, because I can tell that this person just worries about losing you. Like that's how they feel. They worry, and it's not even based on anything that you would necessarily like feel about them. It's not based on anything that you would say to them, but they feel very serious about you, and they may have just grown up in an environment where they felt, yeah, like they felt like that was like all they were worth was what they could show or produce on like a tangible level, and they may not feel worthy of your time even though you might not even care about that stuff. And I also feel like they're not even seeing, at least I feel like this might even be a past energy, they weren't really seeing like how much they actually have to offer. And maybe honestly, like maybe with this Ten of Pentacles, maybe they've actually been working harder, like putting in more hours at work, which is why maybe they've been a little bit more distant, so that they can become more financially stable. But at the same time, I feel like they're healing the need to overwork. And I do feel like they're reaching a point, actually. They may have been doing that at first, but I feel like they actually had some sort of realization that they can be abundant in other ways that aren't just like working really hard and working themselves tired and just wearing themselves thin. Because especially in our economy, sometimes the more you work, the less you get. The more, like, you can work so hard, and there's not a lot of payout for that, at least not as much as there used to be. I don't know. I wasn't alive back then, so I don't know. But, yeah, I ultimately think I want to get more about what they're feeling. So I'm actually going to pull, like two more. I'm gonna pull one or two more tarot cards because I want to get more information on what they're feeling towards you. How do they feel for pile one? Like, if you needed a confirmation basically that this person is interested in you, they are. I don't know how deep y'all's relationship is, but they may even like love you. But like, obviously they take you very seriously. And I think that's part of the issue for them, and why they've their like triggers have been activated and these wounds have been activated, is because they take you very seriously, and it was just activating these insecurities in them that it was making them aware of what they needed to fix. Oh, okay. We have the Eight of Wands. So yeah, this person wants to take action towards you and they want to do more. I'm gonna put that right there. I feel like they're gaining confidence. Oh, okay. And the Empress. Sick. Okay. Yeah, I feel like two things. This speaks to, there was a lot of masculine energy in this spread, and I feel like this speaks to, one, how they see you, but also how they are balanced. And yeah, I really just think that right now, both of y'all are becoming more balanced individuals, and y'all are gonna come together, and yeah, things are gonna change. Things are gonna change in this connection. They see you very sweetly. I mean, any card, oh, I don't know if you can hear that. There's people outside. Anyways, the cards that represent kind of how they see you here and how they feel about you feel very like sweet. Like, they see you much higher than you might think that they do, especially with kind of how things have been lately and how you may be feeling lately, dealing with, you know, your own. This reading may help if you're healing like codependency or anxious attachment. This can be like kind of like a bit of like reassurance. Like, they really like you, and anything that you're feeling where you feel like, I don't think this person is interested in me, is being created very likely in your head, which I don't like. I hate saying that, because I don't like when people say it's all in your head. But I mean, it is all in your head, and it's not your fault. That's the thing. It's not your fault that it's in your head, because obviously these are wounds that are being healed, and it's not your fault that you have those wounds. But if you needed reassurance that they're very much interested in you, and they are literally just dealing with their own stuff right now, dealing with insecurities, this is it. They want to take action towards you, and they're going to, and they see you very highly. They want to, I mean, with how highly they see you as the Empress. They want to be able, they may even put you on a pedestal a little bit, and I think that that's something that they're working on, and they will work on over time. But I see a new beginning coming with y'all. Like, even if y'all are already in a relationship, things are going to change, things are going to get more sweet, and the energy is going to shift. And the way they feel about you, they just see you as like, yeah, they see you very highly. They see you as this like queen. And they don't want to do wrong by you. So they want to make sure that they do this right because they really, really care about this connection. Yeah. So that's pretty much, I don't want to like talk your ear off, talk too much, because it's pretty much as simple as that. I do want to get, I don't know where I put these, I want to get angel cards, some angel messages for you for encouragement. So, okay, they're over here. Really sweet reading, really, really, actually, I'm thinking I might actually, what I'm gonna do is, I want to get a card from this deck, from the deck that we use to check y'all's current energy, and I do want to see like where this is headed. I know that that's not the purpose of this reading, but I do just want to get a little bit, oh, okay, a little bit of information. I'm sorry if that was loud. I really, it's so loud in this apartment complex sometimes. But anyways, I want to see where this connection is currently going. So let's just get a little bit of info for that. Where is Petal One's connection with this person currently going? Okay. They're being secretive. Maybe I'm not supposed to tell you. Maybe telling you would ruin the surprise. I don't know. Interesting. We want to cut your losses. I want to see Moon in Detriment. Where is my little book that has the meanings? Because I don't have these memorized. So let me see. Okay. I don't want this to scare you because we're gonna see what it says, but like honestly, I get a good energy from this. Oh, was that it? Ah, there it is. Okay. It says, it would be absolutely lovely if life were nothing but rainbows and unicorns. But after a certain age, say around 7 years old, we start to realize that there is always going to be light and shade. Drawing this card suggests that right now you might be going through a little bit more shade than light. You're not at your best, and it could be that the situation you're inquiring about is taking its toll on you and your vitality. You have two choices at this point. Either you keep going in the same direction you've been heading in up to this point, or you do what it takes to cut your losses. In other words, is it possible for you to change tack now, or are you absolutely committed to the actions you've been taking lately? You're not running on full power in this situation at the moment, so if you want to change that, you need to think about what it's going to take to strengthen your position. In your current situation, it's not easy to be spontaneous, and that can make everything feel rather tedious. Okay, I feel like that's what we've been saying. I'm gonna read the additional meanings. The additional meanings for this card: what's happening isn't your fault. Are you being too self-conscious? Do you need to look on the bright side a little more? And life goes in cycles, and you need to accept that this is a moment to do the necessary emotional work. So, there you go. Okay. The fact that nothing was really coming out when I pulled this card, or like when I was initially shuffling, was telling me that maybe Spirit does not want you to know what's going to happen because of the fact that, like I was saying in the energy check, there is emotional work that needs to be done on your side. And I feel like, if anything, this is just saying to focus more on you, because like they like you, like there will be moves made in this situation. And even if there wasn't going to be, like, even if it wasn't going to get better, the only thing that would help you right now is to focus on yourself and focus on your healing, because doing that, no matter what the outcome is in this situation with you and your person, will make sure that the outcome for you is healing. And ultimately, that's good. That's the goal. And I do think, I mean, the Eight of Wands came out. I mean, they're gonna make a move. It's very clear how they feel. But yeah, this is pretty much just saying that for you, this seems like it's just like advice, pretty much. Yeah, it may be taking your energy to focus on them so much, but also I can't blame you, because I get it. And you know, I think in this case, this is part of your healing journey, so don't be mad at yourself for focusing and maybe, you know, draining your own energy by focusing on it so much and by ruminating so much. That's not necessarily your fault. Like this was saying, like, what's happening is, it literally says what's happening isn't your fault. And also, their actions are also not your fault or your problem. So this is just all part of the healing process. But ultimately, I get a really good vibe. I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna pull one of these cards for each one, because maybe I'm not supposed to be spoiling the surprise. But I am going to get you some guidance to leave off with, and some angel cards. Sorry, at this point in the video is when my voice starts getting kind of raspy, because I am not used to talking so much. So let's just get you 3 or 4 angel cards. I'll get you 4, actually. Okay, oops. We have transformation, which, yeah, there's literally a transformation happening. Through the great love that holds you in its embrace, you are moment by moment transforming to ever greater light, ever greater oneness, and ever greater wisdom. So yeah, I mean, the Death card literally came out for your person, and there's obviously lots of transformation happening for the both of y'all right now. It may not seem like it, but it is actually a very divine time for you right now. Okay, we have forgiveness. Let the past go, clear your heart and mind through forgiveness. So yeah, this may be also just forgiving yourself, opening your heart up to new experiences and love. Not to say that you know, some people might hear that and be like, what do you mean new? Like, what do you mean new love? Like, I just mean open your hearts, because there may also be people in the past that, you know, whether or not you forgive them, there may be wounds to work on letting go of if you want to let this person in more. Okay, we have trust. All will work out well. We, your angels, are here to nurture, protect, and heal you. Trust in the healing power of our love. We love you more than you will ever know. So, oh God, okay, I was gonna get one more, but I got 3 more, okay. We have destiny. Your destiny is to blossom, to shine, to transform to an ever greater light. We have miracle. Our wings of light surround you and those you love. This current situation is governed by a higher power. We literally got the higher power card earlier. So, and destiny, trust. Yeah, you're good. You really don't have anything to worry about. Anyways, this current situation, oh yeah, I already read that. The forces of love are at work and all will turn out well. And then we have harmony. Disharmony occurs when we try to resist life's natural flow. Everything has its cycle. Every stage of life has its own unique meaning and purpose. Every day can be harmonious if we want it to be. So yeah, one, y'all are coming more into balance individually and with each other. And two, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, cycle. Everything, y'all are just going through a cycle. Okay, you're going through a cycle. Karmic cycles are ending. Life is good. Yeah. Okay. I hope you enjoyed this reading and that it was helpful and insightful. Also, if you missed the intro, I am currently offering personal readings on my Etsy, a little self-plug, shameless self-plug. So if you're interested, the link will be in my bio. And yeah, I hope that you have a great rest of your day or night, afternoon. So yeah, bye. Hi, if you chose the Cats Rule the World Tarot with this flower agate point, then welcome to your reading. So the middle is going to represent the energy of the connection right now. The left, pretty sure this will be on the left. It's on my left, but this side will represent your person's energy, and this side will represent your energy. I know sometimes when people do these readings, it's like, they'll say if you find yourself in this pile, then, just flip them, or like this side. I do want, obviously this is your reading, so you can interpret it however you want, but I do want this side to be your person's reading, or your person, especially if this is how they feel about you. I don't want it to kind of be like, oh, if you resonate with this, are you technically going to be hearing about you when it comes to the tarot? But if you do resonate with this side and it feels right, then just stick with that. You know best. So anyways, we're gonna get into it. Starting with your person's energy. They got 2 cards from the Literary Witches deck. One of them is a person, one of the authors, named Alejandra Pizarnik. Oh, is that an R and an N? Okay, I thought that was an M. Pizarnik. Doesn't matter. So with the word solitude, and they got house and owl and acceptance. I am learning to accept the things that I cannot change. Oh, like the noises in the background. For your energy, we have shark, we have Mirabai with devotion, and judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. And for the connecting energy, we have moonbeams with focus and house again, number 4. So cool. I love the mirroring, or like the house. So I don't know if this is the first. I just thought like your person could be more involved in this connection, especially just because we have one of their cards also in the middle, and your card happens to be looking away, but that just could be a coincidence. Let me make sure everything is in frame. I think we're good. Okay, so let's see. So I feel like with your person, they seem to be in a very good energy right now. And I don't know, I could be wrong, but also I feel like this is the energy that I'm getting, and maybe this could literally be your confirmation that this is your reading. The energy I'm currently getting, I'm gonna try and expand on it more, but hold on, there's a hair. Okay, could be the energy that I'm picking up on is your person seems to be, they could be older than you. That's not necessarily, that doesn't have to be true, but they seem to be very like financially stable and very just like, all of this talks about being very like, the owl card also talks about like treasures, money. I think this card says something about like, when you get it, you can expect a very like a boon of success or money coming. Like, it's a very lucky card. And from your energy, it's a little bit mysterious. This shark card is mysterious in general. It talks about honesty. These are very mysterious cards, both of them. But I was also getting, especially from this card and this card, that what you may be dealing with is you may not be a very traditional person, and your beliefs might be clashing with this or like, I feel like this person could be like, obviously you're interested in them if you're watching a reading about them, but I think that there is like, no, I got like the example in my head of like Mr. Big and Carrie from Sex and the City, like, but it's not, I actually hate their relationship a lot, so I don't want to use that as an example. But I was just thinking, because he's older than her, this does feel like, not in like, this doesn't feel like it's like a weird age dynamic, but it does feel like this person, whether or not they're actually physically older, they could just have, I guess, a more traditional outlook on life, a more traditional view than you have, and there may just be kind of conflict there, or like, I feel like you really like this person, but also it could be kind of like, maybe right now you're actually pulling away from them because of like the fear, like the thought of like, is this even like, do I even want this kind of person? Because I feel like they actually could be a very good relationship. Especially this card, Judgment, talks about like not judging other people for the way that I actually want to read it again, because let me get the book. It talks about not judging other people for the way that they overcome challenges, and also just for the way that their path is. I feel like maybe this could be one of those situations where it's like, what is that trope, like unexpected love, like you end up really, really interested in someone who you didn't expect to be interested in. Maybe this is someone who you're not even in a relationship with, or like maybe it's just one of those things where it's like a crush, or it's like starting out, and you're watching this reading because you're curious about your own feelings and also their feelings, because I feel like maybe this won't be the case for everyone, but it could be like one of those situations where you didn't expect to have a crush on this person, and now you do, but you're also very confused by their energy, because they seem to be so like sure of themselves, and also just they seem to have a pretty good thing going for them. And I think that maybe you're a little bit messier, not in a bad way, but maybe it's like annoying and a little intimidating, and also, even though you don't want to care what this person thinks about you or feels about you, you find yourself caring and wanting to know, and maybe that could be a little bit annoying. And maybe they're honestly the kind of person that sorry, my cat is eating and the AC is on, so everything's loud. But anyways, maybe this person has actually been very open to you, and you're used to the kind of people that are a little more immature and play games, because a lot of people today do that, and I don't think that this person is like that. And so maybe because you're used to people who are a little bit more just immature, play games, stuff like that, it almost seems like it wouldn't be fun anymore. There is maybe like a slight, I don't know what words, I don't want to use the word immature, but there could be like a part of you that likes the whole game and chase and whatever. But I want to read the judgment card in here. It says, we are all spirit, we are all the same. It's only the roles we have chosen to play here on earth that make us seem different. The biggest lesson you have chosen to learn is to love. There are so many situations in this physical dimension that it is possible to incarnate into, but the core lesson is to look past these illusions and see yourself in everyone. Each soul has chosen its own struggles, and your task is not to judge how someone goes about overcoming these obstacles, but to assist that soul. Spirit has given you the tools of compassion and empathy to help you see through the eyes of those who appear different. Your ego has taught you that making other people feel insignificant or inferior will allow you to feel better about yourself. This is an illusion. Yeah. By diminishing others, you diminish yourself. Always learn to follow the golden rule: I will treat others as I would like to be treated. Everyone in your life is here to teach you something about yourself. Accept the lesson with love and understanding. So, and they also got a card about acceptance. And I also just feel like this, what did this talk about? Sorry. This talks about comparison. And I was kind of getting that vibe. I was trying to figure out if this was like an established relationship, because at first when I was getting their cards, I was like, okay, their cards are very stable. That's making me think that this might be a stable relationship, and it could be, but, and then I was like, okay, so does this card, is that talking about like comparisons to other relationships? I honestly feel like whether it's conscious or not, you may be comparing yourself to them and where they are in life. And this card talks about honesty and being direct, but the card itself is also like, it can kind of go two ways, as you can see here. One way is like hiding even more, and this card is a very mysterious card, as I said earlier, and it says like the only danger about the shark is when we ignore it. So you could be trying to ignore your feelings for this person, which is interesting if that is the case, because then why would you be on this reading? Unless you didn't want to hear about this person, but you know exactly who this is, and Spirit is basically trying to say like, hey, you can't hide your feelings from me, basically. And maybe there's a reason that you feel pulled to this person, and maybe there's a lot to learn here. Honestly, whether or not you even want to pursue something with this person, I think that there is a shift to be made here, like in your energy. But with their card being acceptance, I'm learning to accept the things that I cannot change. I feel like they've also just come a long way and weren't always like this, but they have learned, like they've learned acceptance. I feel like that's just such a good energy to be in, is an acceptance energy. Their energy is very good, and I honestly don't see any reason why you wouldn't like them. And this is not even to gas your person up, especially if you're not like, I don't know. Okay, I don't remember exactly where I was because I had to pause for a second, but I think the last thing I said was like, this person, obviously they're not perfect, but especially, I haven't talked about this card yet, Solitude, and they're holding like a little heartbreak thing. I think that this person, I don't know if you know this yet, but there's a lot more to them under the surface. I think that maybe even part of this is how you perceive them. Because they do have a generally pretty stable energy, and they do have a pretty traditional energy, but I don't think that they actually have a traditional outlook on things, especially because this card, especially with her holding like the little heartbreak thing, I think that, and them looking away, I think that that kind of tells me that there's things to this person that you don't know that actually make them not have such a traditional outlook because of the things that they've been through. But I think that they've just kind of been good at transmuting those energies. With this being the also part of the energy between y'all, I think that like there's a very stable energy here, and I think that I think that y'all together can be very stable, and there can be a lot of stability brought to your life. And I think honestly that they find you very like interesting and if that's a good word to use, I don't know, endearing. And I think that they actually really appreciate your point of view, maybe more than you would think they do. And maybe there's this part of you that is afraid of being judged. I feel like maybe, but it's funny and very interesting because obviously like I don't think that everyone is in the energy of like kind of being like, oh well, I don't want to pay attention to this person because they're too traditional. I feel like there's an aspect of that with everyone in this group, but I also feel like there's an aspect of it's actually a really beautiful energy because they have such an accepting energy, and maybe you're afraid of being judged by them, but if you are like already talking with this person, or I honestly I can't tell. I don't get the vibe that y'all are already in a relationship, but I want to continue like reading and see if that comes up. But I am getting that if you were in a relationship with this person, I think they're way more understanding than maybe you're used to people being, and maybe that's where this fear comes from of judgment. And also this talking about comparison, because I think that when you can let go of comparisons and what else? Comparisons and your own, I feel like I use self-doubt a lot, but your own belief that you need to be a certain way in order to be loved, I guess. I couldn't find like a word for it, but because I feel like this person, there's a very mysterious energy to the both of you, but I feel like there's a lot of, especially with both of y'all having purple cards, I noticed immediately that there was a very like spiritual like energy, and there's just a lot of spiritual wisdom here. I feel like even though both of y'all are mysterious and very mysterious to each other, I feel like that y'all both feel drawn to each other. So I'm very interested to see how they feel, because this is definitely a little different from the last pile. This feels very intense, to be honest. This feels like a deep love. Like even if you're like, maybe y'all have had past lives together, because even if y'all aren't like in a relationship, they're on a spiritual level. There seems to be almost like a love here. So I feel like maybe that's why I was confused whether or not this is like a relationship yet or not, because when you know, it's different. There's just like an energy where you can feel aware of spiritual energies while also being grounded to reality at the same time. And I feel like in this case, y'all may not even know why you feel so pulled towards each other. And I think that could be part of the reason. There's just a deep spiritual bond already there. Yeah, this person is a very deep person. I actually want to read the Solitude card as well. even though the Solitude card, the cards in this deck they give information about the author, because these are authors, but it's a little bit more of like, oh, here's some info about the author, rather than actually being like, you know, what the card means. But we do have little meanings right here. So we have silence, interiority, and space. Born to Russian Jewish parents in Argentina, Alejandra Pizarnik, I'm gonna say that last name wrong, so I'm not gonna say it, was educated in both Yiddish and Spanish, but wrote in Spanish. Her poetry of imagistic? God, I feel so stupid. Anyways, imagistic purity and surrealist influence, influence summons themes of silence, absence, madness, and death again and again. Her own struggle with depression led to an intentional overdose of Seconal at the age of 36. Already idolized by Spanish-speaking writers, her genius deserves a global readership. So I just wanted to read that, mostly because I remembered that it said stuff about like poetry, and death also makes me think of like death, rebirth, like energy shifts. And that's why I just feel like even though there's this like stable energy, there's also this like dark, deep energy to them that I feel like honestly that is probably what pulls you in so much, because this card talks a lot about this devotion card talks about her devotion to the god Krishna. And even though like at the time people, which I can read that one too, I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna do it. Let me see, hold on. Yeah, it says worship, passion, and the sublime. Instead of attending to her royal and wifely duties, Princess Mirabai wrote intense, erotic, devotional poetry to the god Krishna, whom she thought of as her lover. Mirabai's in-laws loathed her unconventional ways, and she miraculously escaped their poisoning attempts twice. When the in-laws tried to bring her back into the family, Mirabai spent the night at a Krishna temple and disappeared. Legend has it that she merged with Krishna's image that night or continued on her spiritual pilgrimage in disguise. So, two things about this. The unconventional part stood out to me. I feel like the part of you that is unconventional and deep and also passionate, I feel like you're a very passionate person, obviously with the devotion card, and they are too. But I don't think that they present themselves that way, but you can feel it on like an energetic level. Yeah, I feel like it's probably been like 15-20 minutes in the energy check part, so I want to get into the tarot because I don't just want to repeat myself. I'm hoping that was enough information. And the energy, yeah, between you two, again, it's like with focus, this card talks about whenever you, specifically this card, the way it goes, like, it's talking about focus in terms of achieving something. And you know, comparison is the thief of joy, all that good stuff. And so I feel like when it comes to this relationship, I noticed that looks very similar. It's a little bit similar to the last group in that there needs to be focus on, because the last group kind of had themes of healing individually, healing your wounds to come together and have a more balanced relationship. And again, I keep saying relationship. I honestly don't even know if that is what you desire with this person, but I know that you like feel called and drawn to them. And I know it's kind of already a little bit deep into the reading, but if you're in a relationship with this person, which I'm not necessarily feeling that for many, but if you are in a relationship, I would say still the same thing, that there's just these things that, because this is how I see it, if you were already in a relationship with this person and this reading came up, it would more so be like this person seems stable and you're not used to that. So it may seem like you want to run away, or it may seem like the more stable they seem, the more fear you have of showing your authentic self, because you may feel like your authentic self is a little bit messier and like they would reject it. But with the acceptance card, I feel like it's almost like with this reading, it's like I'm seeing the things that y'all maybe aren't able to see. And I don't want it to be like, because I know in a lot of readings, at least what I've noticed with love readings, is usually the person's energy that we're talking about will be the person that's pulling away, and usually the person watching will be the person. So if you are genuinely like this side and you are the person who's pulling away, I don't know either of y'all, and I don't want to put this person up on a pedestal of like they're perfect and you're the one that needs to change, because that's not the case. In any situation, it's usually, you know, takes two to tango kind of thing. But I do think that I am getting a lot, which maybe this is what was necessary. I feel like I am getting a lot from your side and how you may feel, and how, yeah, you may feel like this person is going to reject certain parts of you. But yeah, I feel like it's almost like the way I'm envisioning it in my head is if like there was a wall or something and you can only see your side, and then you take it down and you can see how they literally have acceptance. And maybe that's something that they've learned over time, but I don't feel like they're a judgmental person, especially right now. They're in this energy, they may be in a very good energy, which may seem intimidating, and I feel like you're in an energy of also just learning to let go of judgment towards not only them but towards yourself. Yeah, and I feel like acceptance and judgment being like basically two sides of the same coin, I feel like y'all are both kind of coming together seamlessly. Like the universe is kind of making it so that y'all are on similar wavelengths at the same time. It feels like, honestly, it's like y'all are on wavelengths that are so close but not exactly like crossing, but they I don't know, but they're getting closer and closer to like touching. I don't know. Yeah. And whether or not you feel this, there's a very solid foundation with this relationship. And I obviously, I'm going to say it again, just because the house card came out for the middle and for them, two different house cards, I do feel like even if you feel like running from the connection, I feel like they want to keep it, and they want to keep it stable. And I feel like, obviously, I know I said the thing earlier about not playing games, and I don't feel like y'all play games with each other, but I feel like they would be willing to chase you if they had to, which I don't want to say that as in like you should run away harder because you like the whole chase thing, because some people do like that. I'm just saying that I don't think that they would like chase to the point of like disrespecting their own energy and their own standards and boundaries. I think that they just kind of can feel your energy towards them. And it's almost like they see the parts of you that you're trying to hide, even though like you think that you're hiding it, they can like feel it on an energetic level, and they already feel acceptance and love towards you for those things. It can just be hard, I know, on like a 3D level to sort of open up about, just open up more, you know. But yeah, I feel like ultimately they would be willing to wait for you and be willing to extend a hand to you and be willing to like just help you and be there for you more than you might assume. So with that, I'm gonna get into their feelings. I kind of already did a little bit, so we're gonna get even more into their feelings. I'm very interested to see what comes out. So let me make sure my phone is still recording. Okay, thank goodness. Okay. I'll do that one more time. Okay, so Spirit, how does pile 2 feel? Oh, how does pile 2's person feel about pile 2? Oh, okay. I think we just got 3 cards at once. I'm not gonna take those because I want to get 5 cards, and that just felt like too much at once. But I feel like they just feel a lot for you that you don't see. Maybe that could be kind of symbolic. Like a lot came out at once, but we didn't even see it. I didn't even flip it over. So okay, we have the 8 of Cups. This came out for the last pile. Also, it was in reverse when it came out. I'm not taking reversals, but I do feel like that's important. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Same cat on both of them, so cute. Page of Swords. So yeah, maybe y'all haven't been communicating as much, but they want to be communicating more, that's for sure. The same cat is on all of them, and I swear, like, it's there's different cats in the cards. So yeah, that's very interesting. Very, very interesting to me. I feel like, honestly, to me, okay, I feel like they only see you, like they're only interested in you. So if you, again, are used to people who play games, or you never really know what they're doing, or if they're entertaining other people at the same time, this person is not that kind of person. And if you've projected that idea onto them, or just like thought that because obviously, like, they just have such a mysterious energy, but so do you. But like, and maybe you don't realize that you're mysterious to them as well, but like, I feel like you may just wonder, you may not think that they even care about you, and maybe that's another reason why you're like, I don't want to care about what they feel because I want to be independent. But you do care about what they feel because you can't help it. And the same cat being in each one so far shows me that, yeah, they only see you, like, more than, they pay way more attention to you than you might think. So okay, we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, cool. With the 8 of Cups, I'm gonna get a clarifier for that one because I think I might know what it means, but I want to clarify it. Okay, and we have the 10 of Swords. Okay, lots of interest. This person is very, like, they're very deep. They have a lot of like sadness, or like, not like they're sad, but I don't know. They have a lot of emotions that you wouldn't expect. So I want to clarify. Can I clarify the 8 of Cups? Spirit. What is this Eight of Cups for? The Sun. I'm gonna put that right there. Okay, and on the back of the deck, the Hangman. So even now, I'm not like immediately getting anything other than like what I said about them only seeing you and them wanting to communicate more. I feel like in a way, this is them also sort of maybe walking away. I feel like they also maybe are being kind of stoic, I guess, with their acceptance. Maybe I think they honestly might think that you are not interested in them or don't like them. This is where that like they would chase you, but you have to like and I don't want to use the word chase. I don't know what's a better word to use. Like, they would be willing to work with you, but I feel like in a way, in trying to be more mysterious and not opening yourself up to them, you may actually just be fully closing yourself off to them. And I didn't want this to be like a read on you, and so I don't want it to like come across like that. But I feel like, honestly, I feel like you may really like this person, and I feel like you're trying not to, or trying not to feel the things that you do for them out of fear. And even though they would be open to helping you through these feelings, if they don't even know that you're feeling those things and all they see is you shutting them off or shutting them away, because the Eight of Cups is about walking away, and I think that they're probably in an energy, and maybe this is another factor of intimidation for you, where it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where you feel like they are not paying attention to you or seeming less interested, but it's because of the fact that maybe you were too, like, you didn't want to be open to them, so you shut them out, and they were like, okay, well, kind of like, that's the kind of, I guess, not negative, but that's one of the parts of acceptance, is in them being an accepting person of their circumstances. Maybe there was a time where they were kind of like pushing for a connection with you, not like pushing, but kind of like more like pursuing more and showing more interest. And maybe they had some issues with control, like maybe just in their life, like they've wanted to control outcomes to things, and maybe they're like, okay, you know what, I accept that I can't control the situation. And it's funny because like with that might actually be like for you, that might be like, oh wait, but I wanted them to chase me, and they're not, because it's the mature thing to do, to not chase someone who is not showing interest or who's pushing you away. Like, they're kind of taking the mature stance, it would seem, of like, I'm not going to chase them if they don't want me to. And that's like a good thing, kind of like objectively so, but you might be like, oh, but I wanted them to. And I'm not calling you immature. I just think that maybe the people you've dealt with in the past, it's not even your fault. I think that the people that you've dealt with in the past have been more immature and prone to playing games. Like, that's honestly what I think. And with this being clarified by the Sun, it doesn't feel like personal. Like, I think that obviously this person has you on their radar, like not just like in a like oh, like you're on my roster kind of thing, like not like that. Like I know that maybe that kind of like hearing you're on my radar may like sound like the things that like people say when they say like, oh well, yeah, you're like number 5 on like my list. It's not like that. Like you're literally, they care about you, but it's not like a personal thing of like, oh okay, well if you don't want me then I hate you and I'm gonna push you away too because you're doing it to me. Like it's not that kind of thing. It's more so like they're choosing their own like happiness and peace in the situation right now because they think that that's what you want. And again, like it's one of those things where they are willing to wait. Like if you wanted to, like, they don't want to be pushy, but if you were to go to them right now and open up about your feelings, they would be open to that because they do have feelings for you. They're just trying to not be pushy and be mature in the situation. With the Wheel of Fortune card coming out, I feel like there is an intuitive part of them that knows that things are going to change. I think that's also why it's kind of easier for them to take this step, because I don't see them as like walking away from you. I don't see them as like oh, I'm gonna go pursue other people or things. I think that they're, especially since like the Solitude card came out for them, I think that they're choosing solitude and they're choosing their own, like, just, they're not really the kind of person to need someone to like fill the void, or maybe they have in the past, but maybe they're trying not to do that. And so they're like, okay, they're kind of accepting. It's honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's a very good, mature energy to be in. They're kind of, this is the kind of person that you would want to be in a relationship with, because their energy is very secure and balanced and stable, and they've done a lot of work to get to this place, and to get to this place of feeling, to get to this place of acceptance and accepting the things that are out of their control. They kind of have this energy of like, what's meant for me will find me. And so with this Wheel of Fortune card, I really do think that they have this, you know, like they just know that things are gonna work out. Yeah. With the Page of Swords, I will say, like, this card, they do want to talk to you. Like, they want more honesty, and but obviously, again, they're not going to be like pushy about it, but they want to talk to you. So I think that honestly, they do, or they would. Like, if y'all are not talking to each other, I do think that they would be willing, like they would be the one. If you didn't want to, they would eventually reach out. But if y'all are in communication or even in a relationship, like I think they would still be the one to like, to at least try. But again, they're not gonna push you to be honest and authentic about like whatever it is that may be bothering you, or basically I think like this is also part of the universe's doing, to help you in this lesson of letting go of past pains and being authentic and opening your heart up to new people. And also that with this Ace of Cups, I really do think that like they're here, like they're waiting, like they're just like, they have a lot of love for you. And if the word love is scary, they have a lot of like, you know, they have a lot of feelings for you, and they're willing, they're just kind of here like with these feelings, trying to feel them in a healthy way, rather than, you know, they don't want to be obsessive, they don't want to be unhealthy, because maybe they have been in the past, and I think that they've just learned a lot and they want this to go right. And so I really do think that like they're just here with an accepting, open heart, you know. And with the 10 of Swords though, I will say that I want to actually get a clarifier for that. First, I'm gonna drink water because my voice is getting tired. So give me a second. But I do think the 10 of Swords is sort of alluding to the pain that they're kind of holding in, because I do think they're reaching a point where they're trying to regulate their emotions, but I think that they are reaching a point where it is difficult to kind of hold back what they're feeling, because I do think that they have very, especially with the Ace of Cups, like especially, yeah, the Ace of Cups is like emotional fulfillment. It's like they want this one thing, and that is you. And coming after these cards with having the same cat on them, I just feel like you're definitely at the forefront of their mind, but they're just trying to trust the universe, essentially. Yeah. Can I get a clarifier for the 10 of Swords? Oh, okay. The Hangman. Yeah. Yeah, they're trying to be patient. And I think that this is also helping them on a spiritual level. I think if anything, like, this reading can be your confirmation that even though it's hard to open up, this person does want you. They have really strong feelings for you. And even here, I think that they see you as like the sun, but I think that they also recognize this sort of 10 of Swords in you. I think they recognize a kinship of, I think that y'all's emotional lives are very similar. Not that y'all have the exact same emotions, but I think that y'all's like depth, emotional depth is very similar. And I think that opening up to that like would really, really transform y'all's connection. And yeah, it would be really transformative. And I think that honestly, I think that they're ready for that. I mean, yeah, it seems like that's what they're ready for, and they're just being patient. And this is your sign that if you were wondering and you wanted to make a move towards them, like, this is your sign to do that. But even if you don't, I think that like you'll know if you're feeling this energy and this resonates, like you'll know if that's the right thing to do. Because yeah, essentially this person, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. This person feels a lot for you, and that's shown through the Ace of Cups, but they also are just being patient. They want to communicate with you. They want to connect with you on an emotional level. And maybe even if y'all have connected, like, just in general, I think that that's what's missing, is connecting on an emotional level, diving deeper, being open to seeing them and their emotional depth rather than just what's on the surface, and judging like what you may think is like not for you. Because I really do think on an emotional level, you and on like a spiritual level, you feel a kinship with their soul. But on a like 3D level, you might be pushing them away and, you know, excusing it with like, oh, well, you know, they're just too traditional for me, or they're this. And that's like surface level things, but I think you know that deep down y'all would really connect. That deep down y'all have a lot more in common than you do differences, and that people just, and I think honestly, like, that's a lesson that you're going to be learning through this process, and that you're learning right now, is that people can present completely differently. Like, people just have different personalities, but that doesn't encapsulate them as a whole. And there's like a saying for this, that you're judging the something before I don't know, but judging a book by its cover, duh. Anyways, but again, this person is not perfect. I think, in fact, it could be a little frustrating, their appeared like stoicism and how they're trying to, but I think ultimately they're just trying to do the right thing, and that's what they think is right. And to you, it may seem like illogical, or like, because your way of doing things, I feel like y'all's way of doing things is just different, but the feelings are the same. Like, y'all feel the same towards each other. I just think that there's been a clash of the way that y'all do things, and so maybe you're confused and thinking, okay, this person isn't chasing me, so that must mean they don't like me, when in reality they're trying to not chase you away. And for them, I think they're, yeah, pretty much the same, that, but like flipped. It's just a miscommunication, I guess, a misunderstanding of each other, but I think on a deep level, y'all would really understand each other. So I do want to get, I obviously am not going to go super in depth, but I'm going to get another moonology card to kind of see where this connection is going and where the energy is headed. So yeah, where is this connection going? Where is Pile 2's connection with this person going? Okay, we have Moonlight with Enchanted. So, where's the book? Hello. Oh, it's over here. So, I'm just gonna read that. Okay. It says, there is something magical and enchanted about moonlight. Whatever it touches turns a beautiful, creamy silver. Something is doing this in your life now, or is about to. Life is all about cycles, as is astrology and moonology. Right now, you're about to move into a more enchanted time or cycle in your life, if you believe. Whatever you're wishing for, it can come true because you're starting to believe again, perhaps after a rough time. This card reminds you to focus on the good while you process the difficult. If you can't yet feel the magic in your life, take support from a daily practice of just breathing out, with the intention of breathing out stress through cleansing breaths. It might be dark now, but there is moonlight at the end of the tunnel, so keep the faith and see the world through kind eyes. If you affirm that something is too good to be true, you might make it so. Instead, believe that life can be magical for you, and it can be. And then additional meanings for this card: smile more, trust the process, get in touch with your inner child, believe it and achieve it, and expect good things. So yeah, I think that what it said about too good to be true, I think ultimately that is where your energy is coming from is believing that this is too good to be true and wanting to push this person away because of that. But it's not, and all of this confirms that. And I do think that this might be a more difficult time, especially with the feelings that you're going through. But I think, enchanted, that is like a really beautiful word. I think that this connection is divine and enchanted, and I really do think that, like, it has the potential, because nothing is set in stone. I really do think that there needs to be like but I do think that this person might initiate. I can't say for sure, but doing some work on your heart space may be beneficial, because I really do think, whether or not it's with this person, opening up your heart and like softening to genuine, authentic love and experiences is going to make you feel something that you haven't felt in a really long time. Like this just enchanted energy that you thought was lost to you, you will be able to feel, and it'll open up just a whole new world for you, a whole new perspective. So yeah, I want to end the reading with some angel cards, some angel messages, and just some guidance for you. Oh god, I already dropped some. Okay. Ugh. Okay, for some reason shuffling these earlier was easier. Anyways, guidance for pile 2. Okay, so we have wisdom, which I was thinking about wisdom because the owl card came out, and owls to me are just, they represent wisdom. Everything has a place and purpose. To be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion for all things. So yeah, I feel like y'all are both gaining lots of wisdom through this, and not just like intellectual wisdom, because yeah, to be wise is to have great love, tolerance, and compassion. So I think that you're gaining like heart wisdom. Okay. Ooh. We have do it now. Don't put it off any longer. Have courage. Listen to your intuition, for it is the guiding voice of your soul. Yeah, you were called to this reading for a reason. You do, well, obviously I can't force you to do anything, but very likely you like this person, okay? And that's okay. You don't have to deny it. If you reached out to them literally right after this reading, I'm sure that do whatever. Whatever this is, this could also literally be not related to this reading. Anything that you've been feeling intuitively pulled towards, it could be this person, or it could be something entirely different. Listen, this is your sign. So anyways, take that if it resonates. Okay, we have courage, which this was literally talking about courage. You have what it takes, just do it. We, your angels, are here to support you. So yeah, whatever it is, you have supports. You have angelic supports. Okay. And peace. No matter where you are or what you're doing, inner peace is always possible. All it takes is a subtle shift in awareness. Think love and peace will follow. And ultimately, opening up your heart will bring you even more peace. So yeah, I hope that you liked this reading. I hope I wasn't like offensive. I didn't want to like I like when I do a reading and I get to just shower the person with compliments. I feel like I wasn't very complimentary, but I think it's okay, because if you needed to hear it, you needed to hear it. But I hope that this was insightful. If you skipped the intro, I'm gonna do a little self-plug. I am offering personal readings on Etsy. The link will be in my bio. So yeah, either way, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. So bye. Hello, pile 3, if you chose the Mystical Manga Tarot and this Opalite, pretty sure points. Welcome to your reading. I can't get this song out of my head now because obviously I've seen these cards already since I pulled them before, and one of the cards was knife, the word knife, and the song Sympathy is a Knife by Charli XCX keeps playing in my head. Also, I was thinking about how I did the readings. I did every reading today back to back, and the song Back to Back by Charli XCX came to my mind. So Charli XCX, Brat Summer could be significant. Maybe you met this person during Brat Summer, I don't know. But speaking of back to back, my voice is a little tired, so if it gets really raspy during this, I'm sorry. I've just been talking for a while. Anyways, yeah, let's get into it. This side is meant to be your person's energy. This side is meant to be your energy. I've been saying in each reading, I know that some readers will kind of say, like, if you see yourself in this energy, then, you know, feel free to flip-flop them. I am really just hoping that since this is a how they feel reading, that you would see yourself in this, because it might be a little confusing if you see yourself in this. But I also want to say that, like, it's your reading, and whatever interpretation feels correct to you should be the one that you go with. So yeah, interpret this however will resonate, if that's what you want. Obviously don't force it to resonate, but you know, whatever feels right feels right. So yeah, let's get into it. Starting with your person's side, we have Rabbit, Stingray, and Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. On your side, we have it's a knife. Knife. Patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Rabbit. Oh my god. Synchronicity. Anyways, and Black Egg. So yeah, obviously, because there's a rabbit on both sides, we'll get into it, but y'all's energy is very affected by each other during this time. There's other synchronicities I'm going to talk about, but yeah. The energy of the connection is Day Moon with Love and Whip. Kinky, number 11. Just kidding. Kind of. Anyways, to get into it, I feel like for most people, this is someone that you're already in a relationship with, or even things could be coming to an end with them, or maybe they have, like maybe y'all have broken up. And I'm not saying that, like, I don't want that to scare you, because this could also just be a relationship, especially since we have love in the middle. This literally talks about how love doesn't come without relationships to be exact, don't come without challenges. I feel like there is conflict at the moment. There are challenges at the moment, regardless of where you stand with this person. Especially with Whip being here, this talks about conflict, drama. The Knife also talks about conflict. Two kind of, they're both violent. I don't think that obviously this is violence, because if it was, that would be very concerning. So I don't think it's literally violent, but I do think that this represents the conflict. And I mean, obviously these cards mean conflict. The Rabbit card talks about waiting. It also talks about taking leaps, but in adventure, but being that one of the meanings is waiting, and the fact that you have the Patience card, I do think that you are having, and this Rabbit card talks about anxiety. I do think that maybe you're not feeling the best about the situation right now, and waiting is kind of making it worse, but I do think ultimately you're getting through it, and I think that y'all are both learning. This feels very significant. I mean, I will say, I don't think that this really has anything to do with anything, but in this deck, there are, it's called the Literary Witches Oracle, and there's cards like this, but there's also like a major arcana, I guess you could call it, of authors. Like it's just like a person card, and the other two piles got author cards, like, and I took that as meaning that they were like very powerful energies, and by powerful I just mean, I guess, intense, or like potent. And this feels a little bit less so, but I think the reason for that is because the AC just turned off. Anyways, I think the reason for that is y'all's energy. Y'all's energy towards each other right now is, I don't think that y'all are very highly communicative or involved in each other's lives. I know I said that sort of in the other readings. If you want to watch them, you don't have to. I'm just like mentioning that because I know that like in some of the other readings it was like, oh, y'all may not be communicating, but for the most part I got the vibe that there was at least, because y'all, the thing is, y'all could be communicating. I feel like honestly, when it comes to feelings, I feel like right now y'all may not be feeling the love. I think that's what it is, because in the other readings there was more of like I could tell that there was a strong feeling of love, or of liking each other, and or like being interested in each other. And I think that y'all do have, like, I think that y'all are interested in each other. I just think, because obviously with this love card here, there may be a lot of love, but I just think that things are so complicated right now, and there's conflict that y'all are going through, and I think that that's making it to where that's not the focus of your energy right now. So you may not be focused on feeling these lovey-dovey feelings, because for the other groups it was more like there's lovey-dovey feelings underneath, which is the same for, God, it's different. I don't know how, but I think it's more like those were more, this feels like an established, like, you know, this person energy, whether or not you've been in a relationship with them. This feels like you know them, and the energy is a little bit more heavy when it comes to the love, because it's maybe a more established love, whereas the other ones were more like honeymoon phase, sort of. It was just different. Not that it matters, we're not trying to compare readings here. I just kind of wanted to, I guess, try and emphasize the difference in energy that I'm feeling in this one. But either way, starting with your person, this card, the Stingray card, is about essentially growing a spine, growing a sense of self. It talks about growing out of patterns and doing what they feel called to do versus maybe what they've been doing, not listening to unhealthy sources of advice anymore, like maybe friends, family that they don't agree with. Maybe they were a bit misguided, and I feel like there was a bit of an immature energy, and maybe that is what caused this conflict. Because what's really kind of unfortunate in this situation is, I don't know if that's the right word to use, I don't want to make it sound sad, it's just like, it's sad to see when there's like a really strong foundation of love here. It feels like right person, wrong time kind of thing. That's what it feels like, and that's what's so devastating. I don't think that this necessarily has to be the end of y'all's relationship, but it does feel like there was just a lot of conflict going on the 3D because of things that y'all have to, because ultimately what we're doing, we're all learning. So there may just be things that y'all have to learn. I think that this relationship, if you want it to last, it very well could. I just think that right now, the energy, and we'll get more into how they feel, and that'll give us a little bit more insight into where this could be headed. But I do think that the energy right now, I think, yeah, this person just had a little bit of immaturity, it seems like, and I do think that they're growing out of that. I don't think that that was necessarily them. They may have had a friend group or just whatever it is that they were being influenced by. It could even be like, well, I don't think it's that. Maybe it could, I was gonna say it could even be that they fell down the alt-right pipeline, or not exactly, but maybe there's like, they were being influenced by, it could be friends that, like, you know, there's just a lot of stuff on the internet right now that it can be harmful to people, especially younger people, who are more susceptible. I mean, anyone can be susceptible to that thing, to be honest. It could be, it doesn't really matter age, but like, they were misguided essentially, and they were making decisions that wasn't really based on them, but it was like peer pressure, stuff like that. And I do think that this person is someone who would cope with humor, but this card also talks about, I mean, I do think, I want to see this card as a good thing. I do think there's a good side to it, but I also think that they were prone to, and they still kind of, I feel like, yeah, they were prone to seeing things on the lighter side, but sometimes to their detriment, like where you wanted to go deep. And especially with like this Black Egg card, I feel like you are a very emotionally deep person who speaks a lot of truth, and I think that this was very kind of triggering for them. And we'll get into your energy in a second as well, but that's basically what this feels like. And maybe it wasn't, maybe it was like also like a talking stage or like a dating, but this basically feels like someone who cares deeply for you but couldn't admit it, or couldn't take things deeper, couldn't take the relationship deeper because they were being influenced by peer pressure and basically just being immature. And they just prefer, they prefer, the Black Egg card is the throat chakra. It talks about honesty and authenticity, and I think that you are just no bullshit and ready to have certain conversations that they just weren't ready to have because they're afraid to face their feelings. But with the Rabbit card being here, I do see this changing. I do see them maturing. because I do think there is a part of them that realizes how much they care about you, and that they may have, they feel like maybe they fucked up and chased you away. But this card, I mean, this card being about patience and taking leaps, I feel like they are, in this card also, like they are changing. They're taking a leap. They want to do better. They want to be better. I think it's interesting how, sorry, I'm like burping, how their energy, they're like this bunny looking at you, and your energy, at least from this card, is a knife, which is just funny to me. I also, okay, two things, because I was trying, earlier I was like kind of trying to get a read on why, you know, the other groups may have had a person card and y'all have an object like card, or I mean, that's an animal, but you know what I mean. Because these are the more like, I guess, I don't know, I consider them minor arcana cards in this deck. It seems like right now that also makes me think about, kind of like how I was saying earlier, y'all may not be communicating, but that felt a little vague to say. This also feels like right now there's just this energy of not fully seeing each other, not just physically, but having like defenses up and seeing the situation a little bit more, what's like, impartially or apathetically. No, that's not the word. A little bit more harsh, because I don't want to say y'all don't see each other as humans right now, but I was kind of trying to say something akin to that, kind of like y'all aren't really seeing currently like the humanity in each other, if that makes sense. But it's not because y'all don't care about each other. It's not that y'all don't see the humanity or care about each other. It's just that right now you both have, you're not really, it's like you can feel emotional about the situation, and y'all definitely do, but I guess y'all aren't coming at it from a place of love and compassion at the moment, at least. And especially with, again, this knife card, you definitely, and probably for good reason, but you definitely have your defenses up, and this person is just kind of waiting, because I think that they know that they messed up and they need to reprimand. Is that the word? I'm pretty sure. And I noticed these are like facing the same way. It kind of reminds me, in the last group, the card that was on this side was also the like similar to the card that was in the middle, and I took that to mean that the person on this side's energy was very much affecting the energy in the connection more so. And I feel like right now, despite there is an energy of love beneath it all, and challenge as well. And I think that this conflict came about, obviously it takes two to tango, it was both, but you having your defenses up right now, that is creating, it's not like this is your fault, because it's not, but there's an energy of, I think, there's an energy of conflict here and defenses being up, but it's kind of like being made stronger. I don't even know. I think that you basically have the more dominant energy currently in the situation, in the connection. And I mean that in like many ways. I think that you are probably rightfully so having your defenses up, and I think that they are being more affected by your energy than I think you're affected by their energy. But like, I feel like in this situation, even though there's things that both of y'all are learning, it feels like they are the one that they're the ones that need to reprimand the situation, is what I'm feeling. And I think that you know how deep of feelings you have for this person, which is why it's very difficult. And that's why, you know, obviously this card is coming up. Which also, like, they're so connected to your energy. They could be like spiritually, telepathically connected to your energy, even if y'all are in separation. And they just care a lot, and this is like a tale as old as time, just person being immature, knowing they messed up, caring for you, and feeling very connected to your energy. And it is a little sad because this card also talks about being very hypervigilant. And I think that this person honestly may have, like, either you've already been hurt in the past and this person was triggering those wounds. I think that is what it is. But also they may have, like, hurt your feelings in some way. And I don't like saying hurt your feelings just because that makes it feel kiddish. They hurt you, and it's kind of bringing up wounds that are making you more hypervigilant to being hurt again and putting up defenses, rightfully so. And yeah, I really do think that, like, you have been honest with them. I think they know how you feel. I think they know pretty much exactly how you feel. And again, there is a part of them that's trying to see the lighter side, but there is also, like, a part of them that needs to open up to feeling the darker sides. I think that, you know, they need to be able to feel those things in order to really see how they've hurt you. But I think they do feel that, but I do think there is a bit of immaturity with them. But yeah, no, I mean, I see that changing. So I am gonna get, like, a little bit of information, because after I do the tarot, I was gonna pull another one of these cards to see kind of what energy is being called, like what might happen in this connection, because I'm interested to know. But yeah, I'm gonna get into the tarot now. Let me actually make sure my phone is still recording, because I'm afraid that it's gonna stop. Okay, but yeah, I think that that's all I have to say about the energy. You're probably very interested to see how they feel, because in this situation it's kind of hard to guess. I feel like you can feel it, and at the same time you don't want to care because this person has been just a type of way. At the same time though, you naturally, I want to say love you, or at least care for this person, at least want them in your life and feel a deep connection. And I really do think that, like, this could go one of two ways, but I really do think that, like, this connection has a lot of love. And even if it's not, like, even if y'all didn't end up together, which, by the way, that reminds me of how I was thinking of the song Back to Back by Charli XCX, because when I thought of that, I did think, like, I wonder if this is going to be a separation reading. I mean, you could still be in a relationship with this person or still talking with them. I mean, okay, I think if you were in a dating, talking stage, you're probably not talking as much right now, and there was a little bit of separation. I think if you were in a relationship, y'all either took a break from each other just to, like, collect your thoughts, or things are just not, sorry that my voice is like shaking, it's tired. Or y'all are not separated, but there is conflict. But I'd be willing to bet it's probably the first one, separation, but doesn't have to be. But yeah, we're gonna get into how they feel, because you're, yeah, it can just be hard in these situations to gauge how someone is feeling. But I think there is a lot of love. And I was gonna say that even if this situation even if y'all didn't come together in the end, it would teach you a lot about yourself, and it would teach you a lot about self-love. Like, ultimately all relationships are supposed to do. But yeah, let's see how they feel towards you. Five of Cups coming out. I'm not gonna take it, but that is disappointment and loss. So, okay, definitely grieving. Okay, we have the Six of Wands, which is very interesting because that's like the opposite of the Five of Cups. Maybe they are feeling better, like they want to make a move. They want to do better. I feel like they're feeling inspired at the very least. Oh, okay. We have the Page of Wands and the Knight of Cups. Yeah, their energy, if they've been in a bad energy before, when I say bad, I mean like they haven't been like a good romantic partner, they've been immature, they definitely seem to be changing that. Okay, yeah, Page of Cups, lots of, yeah. And is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 of Pentacles? I think that's 8. Hold on. Yeah, that's 8. Wait, no, it's 7. Oh, the 8th one is right there. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. 8 of Pentacles. Okay. On the back of the deck with the 8 of Swords in reverse. So, yeah. This is kind of just confirming that they've been working on themselves, because what I'm getting is pretty much, it's not even, I'm not getting a lot of how, well, except for these cards, how they feel towards you. With the 8 of Pentacles, I'm getting this in like a literal sense, that they are literally working on a plan. Because I was gonna say that that means that they're willing to work for you, like work towards something with you. But I feel like that's more 7 of Pentacles-y, when you're like willing, because 7 of Pentacles is about patience. 8 of Pentacles feels like they're actually like going to work with something, and they're working on a plan, like they're working on themselves maybe. This is very interesting, and honestly might be a little bit frustrating to hear, only because you might be angry with them and might have not distasteful, I don't know. You might not feel very fond of them at the moment, but they currently are feeling like very confident in their plan to reprimand things. I think they really want to. I mean, no, I know they really want to, based on what I'm seeing. With the Page though coming out, Page of Wands and Page of Cups, I do think there is still an element of like, they want to succeed with the Six of Wands. I think this is new to them, especially with the Page of Cups. This is new for them, feeling this sort of way and maybe caring enough about someone to want to make things right, because maybe they have a history of being more just kind of like not very serious about relationships, and maybe they were expecting to feel that way about you, but I think that they knew from the beginning that they really liked you, but they're used to just being kind of a fool, and not taking things seriously. This Knight of Cups also kind of looks a little bit sad, like the way that he's like looking at the cup is almost like he's looking at something. Like this visual is giving me kind of like he's looking longingly at something that he really wants and hoping that he can fix it, at least, or like hoping that he can what's the word? Because like there's a part of this that looks worried. There's a part of him that looks worried and not sure if it's going to work, but that's just the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a very dreamy card, a very artistic, emotional, dreamy card where, yeah, you're just sorry if you can hear the water dripping in the back, by the way, it's the water heater. Anyways, yeah, very emotional, like wishful thinking, fantasy-like kind of card, and that's kind of the energy, is just being, I don't think that your person is used to being in that sort of energy of untapped emotions, because that water heater is really annoying the fuck out of me. Okay, it stopped. Anyways, I don't think that they're used to being, because I think that they can be a very deep person, but I think that they're used to being honestly a little bit more shallow, and you have kind of triggered something in them to be more emotionally aware, emotionally like open. It honestly is kind of annoying. Like, you might be annoyed with, or you might find it endearing, but to some, like me, I would think that this is kind of annoying. I no hate to your person, but you know, having to be the person who shows someone how to feel emotions can be annoying. It just can be. But anyways, but I do think you have a lot of care for this person, and I do think though that you have very strong boundaries and standards, and you wouldn't let this person back into your life. Oh my god, loud. You wouldn't let this person back into your life unless they were like actually changed, and unless they actually showed you, because again, like with those defenses, like there is a level of learning on both of your ends, like, but it makes sense that you would put walls up after this person hurt you and failed to be emotionally available. It makes sense to be on the defense. So it's not that you have to just open your heart up right away, but also be careful to not shut everyone out. And this could be a lesson in not forcefully being forgiving of every single thing and just letting people walk all over you. Not doing that, but just I'm thinking. I mean, I guess this is about how they feel, but also just there could be a lesson for you in I guess knowing when to let people in and when to having discernment. This is a lesson in discernment, and because it can be easy to become too hypervigilant. Sorry, I keep moving the cards. It's just fun. But anyways, I think this person feels determined. That's what I'm getting. They feel determined to make things right with you. And I think even so, like, even though they do want to make things right, they do have work to do. And I only say that because I'm not getting a lot about their feelings, because I do think that they are still a little bit, like, I think that the fact that they even want to make things right is kind of their way of showing that they do have feelings for you. Because for most people, they might even be immature to the point of blaming others and being like, oh, okay, well, they're lost, like that was their fault, and just like kind of lie to themselves to cope and move on. But they really want to make things right, but it does seem like they're not fully connected. They know they have feelings for you, but I don't think they're at a point where they could like maybe admit that, at least not to everyone. With the Knight of Cups, yeah, the Knight of Cups being in the middle, this is like the highest like court card that we have here, and then we have the pages on the side. It almost feels like this part is like your person internally, and this is the part that's kind of like the more emotional aspect that's kind of growing and that they're becoming more aware of, but it's still being kind of shielded by like the pages, the parts of your person that are trying to grow, and that is a good thing, but also still being a little bit like, even with like the Six of Wands being here, being like they're expecting victory. They might I don't know, they might have a sense of false confidence. I'm not saying that they're going to fail, but they might have a sense of false confidence but it's kind of like a coping, like oh, like of course I'm gonna get this person back, but they do have doubts. I feel like if they were to let their emotions in more, they would realize like how afraid they are of losing you. But ultimately, I think that because like we got that humor card, wanting to look on the brighter side of life, there is still that part of them that it's not necessarily a bad thing, but they don't want to be open to the darker aspects of what they might feel regarding the situation, because they want to feel this sense of confidence, which it's good to be confident, but it's like whenever your confidence is like, well, how do I put this? Like, I feel like true confidence is being aware of your setbacks and having more. I feel like they just honestly lack a little bit more of self-awareness, because obviously it's good to be confident in their plans, but that confidence can sometimes lead them to be egotistical, and that in the past has led them to be more like if they do something wrong and somebody rejects them because of it, their ego might be like, okay, well, it's their loss, even though they're not owning up to the fact that they did something wrong. So it's not really confidence, it's more like ego. But at the same time, I do think that their intentions are in the right place. But it's like that 5 of Cups fell out earlier, and I put it back in the deck because I was like, no, we're not taking that. But it did fall out, and that kind of tells me that like they do feel the pain of what has happened in this connection, but it's not in their main spread of cards because it's kind of one of those things where, again, they want to kind of keep it light, you know, like the 6 of Wands coming out. This is the card of victory. That coming out after I saw the 5 of Cups is just very telling. Like, they want to kind of put a band-aid over what they're feeling and kind of, yeah, just, you know, feel this instead. And the thing is, it's not really a feeling. It's because you can't really feel victorious over something. No, victorious, like the show. No, that could be significant. But anyways, you can't really feel victorious over something you haven't even done yet, which I'm assuming they haven't even taken action to reprimand yet. But I don't want to like just hate on your person and all that. Although depending on who you are, you may feel like that is kind of deserved. But ultimately, I think that they do want to make things right, and I think that they have a lot to grow in, but yeah, it's just so funny seeing like the Page of Cups and the Page of, it's like there's a youthful sort of like, I'm learning energy. I'm learning how to be more mature, I guess, how to be more emotionally mature, how to actually let my emotions in. And yeah, with the Page of Wands, I do think that they're determined. I do think that their ego is kind of helping them, but also it is their ego is also where they fall short, and they need to be able to be more open to their emotions. So to be honest, like, I think that's why the Patience card came out for you, and why the Waiting card came out for them, because obviously I know this isn't like a what's gonna happen reading. I mean, we are gonna get a little bit of info on that, but I don't know how long it's gonna take. Like, if you want this person, I do think that they're obviously making change, but I do see that they have work to be done in the emotional maturity department, but I also see that they are feeling determined to heal themselves for you and to be better, and that's how they feel. The thing with that is they are going to like they may reach out, for example, and be really good and say things that are right, and you may give them a second chance, and then they may kind of slip up. And it's not because they're being inauthentic, it's because this is something that takes time to to develop. Like I'm basically saying like they're not going to be perfect, and it's up to you whether or not you want to give them grace with that, because I do think that you're the kind of person who is very emotionally mature and also probably brutally honest. Like not in a bad way. I just think that like this person may get defensive, like if that were to happen and they were to like kind of do something again that was kind of like stupid or boneheaded or just whatever, like they may get defensive and it may cause conflict again, and then they'd be in this situation all over again where they're like, I'm so stupid, I need to fix things. And I think eventually they would come to. It's gonna be different for everyone. The timeline is gonna be different for everyone, because they could genuinely be on like a really solid path of emotionally maturing. It's gonna depend, but this is one of those things where it could be a really solid connection if y'all choose to help each other and grow together, or it can be a learning experience for them and for you. But with the love card, because I'm still thinking about how the love card came out in the middle, that doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be like this is the end all be all, like y'all are endgame, unless that's what you want and that's what you feel like deep down. Because I actually, like, obviously I can't say for sure, because honestly this could be like a very, very strong spiritual connection. But sometimes with strong spiritual connections, the work that has to be done in the 3D can be kind of grueling. So yeah, like basically whether or not that is something that you want for your life is up to you. But what is meant for you will find you. Ultimately, I think that this person wants to make things right. Yeah, I think that might, I don't want to repeat myself too much, so I might just get into, let me think. Hold on. But ultimately, I think for both of y'all, the biggest challenge is honestly y'all's egos, which we all have. It's not like, I'm not talking about ego in the sense of like maybe for them their ego is a little bit like literal like ego, like egotistical, but there's just challenges, you know. I think that honestly this could be potentially even like a divine counterpart connection. And sometimes with those, I think my voice just cracked. Sometimes with those, it can be really difficult, like a twin flame connection, because part of the lessons are breaking down your ego and where you need to grow. And ultimately, I think that's what's happening here. Because I think this is growth for the both of y'all. And yeah, I want to get a card to see where this connection may go. Like, where does this connection have the potential of going? What may come next for it? Okay, and we have avoid drama with Moon Madness. So that's funny just because there was so many cards about drama. Like the whip card that came out, I'm pretty sure it literally says drama. Yeah, conflict, opposition, drama. And it literally says in it, avoid the drama that fuels internal and external suffering. So we're gonna read. Where did I put the book? I literally just had it. It's over here. Okay. I should probably get a drink of water because my voice is getting kind of ouch. Okay. So, let's see. Okay. It's too easy for you to get wrapped up in dramas right now, even to feel a little like it's all too much. What you're dealing with is noise. Don't fall for it and don't believe everything people tell you. It's time for you. Sorry, I was just thinking. I'm people. Don't believe everything I tell you or do. Anyways, it's time for you to take a step back from everything that is swirling around you. Being overly involved is an easy trap. The more you wade in and get entangled now, the more unnecessarily intense the whole situation is going to become. Consider the possibility that you're not quite thinking straight at the moment. Maybe you need to quell your emotions so they don't lead you astray. Taking a back seat will help. Gentle breathing exercises will help get you back into alignment, and all the better to deal with the question you're asking the cards about. Exhale and let events unfold in their own time. It could be that everyone in the situation you're asking about is feeling too much pressure. Detach from drama, which can end up hampering everything. Breathe out, your energy field will thank you. And then additional meanings for this card. There is too much drama in the air to think straight. Someone is being overly provocative. Sorry, I'm burping. Don't stress, it won't change anything. Backing down or off is sometimes your best play, and you need to trust that the situation will be fine. So, yeah, I think even though you might be upset with this person, I do think that you still have a lot of care and feelings for them, and it could be maybe, because I know the black egg came out, maybe you have been trying to communicate with them and been trying to help fix them when in reality they need to fix themselves. Or like, I don't want to use the word fix, but I think that if you want to be with this person, I think giving them more space, even if it sucks, for them to fix what they have, to really get in touch with their feelings, because I feel like the more noise that goes on for them also makes it more difficult, because the Stingray card even talks about like how difficult it can be to change when you have family and friends in your ear, and obviously that's kind of different because that's, but it was talking about other people. So I do think that this person, honestly, I have a lot of faith in them despite everything I was saying, but I think that the extra noise is making it hard for them. If you feel called to communicate with them in any way, I would say do that. But if you feel called kind of to leave things be, just know that things will work out in divine timing, and this person might be more prone to being defensive and falling back into patterns if faced with opposition too quickly, if that makes sense. Like, they need time to really set in their new energy and their new habits, because it can be way too easy to fall back into old patterns and make it seem like they haven't changed at all if things move too fast when they're trying to become a better person. if that makes sense. So ultimately, I would say, like this card was saying, to trust that things are going to be okay, because they are going to be okay. And I would say at the moment, just focus on you, focus on what you can control and what you're doing. Oops. And things will be okay. Things will be all right. Okay, I'm not getting a very good shuffle. I'm gonna end with some angel cards, some advice for you, and just some guidance. So what do the angels have to say to you? Oops, pile 3. What do you have to say to pile 3, angels? Okay. Oh, determination. Okay, well, that's literally what I said your person has. So maybe that's a confirmation. Your person is very determined to change. Determination, perseverance, and patience will lead to a positive outcome. So there you go. I think y'all can get through this. I really do. I think that things are going to change for the better. I think that some parts of this reading could have been kind of pessimistic or hard to hear, but ultimately I do think that things are going to change for the better, because I can see that. I just know that normally in these situations it takes time, and so I just don't want to give the advice of like, you need to wait for this person. Like, continue with your own life and things will be okay. And I think that having trust in the divine is going to be like your best thing to do right now. Having trust, focusing on things that make you happy. Because I'm not saying that this connection has to end, but the more you focus on you, the more the energy will just align. And I also want to say, even if this, because I would watch readings sometimes where people would say this, and it honestly is really helpful. Even if this connection didn't end up working out, there would be an even better connection that you're more aligned with that would come into your life, and just things will work out. You have to trust that. So okay, we got 2. Got Archangel Uriel. A great spiritual transformation is currently occurring both in your life and in our world. This is the union of heaven and earth, spirit and matter, heart and mind unite in harmonious balance. So yeah, I also think that you're manifesting right now. Like, I mean, we're always manifesting, but I think that you're going through a transformation. And that's why usually when things feel heavy, like you're in a tower moment, that's when you're manifesting like things you wouldn't even have thought of before. So yeah, I think, oh, okay. We have fear. Oh, we have another archangel. It says, I, Archangel Michael, am here to help you through the present time. It says, I love you, I protect you, and I keep you safe. Trust that all is well, accept my love, and allow it to dissolve your fear. So yeah, that's really beautiful. Because I do remember that rabbit card right now. You may, especially with just everything going on, you're probably not feeling the best right now. And just know that you are protected and you are loved by people on this earth, and also by your spiritual team. Whatever you believe in is there. Like, if you feel it, it is there. And even if you don't necessarily believe in anything metaphysical, or like, I don't know, there is universal love energy surrounding you, and you're protected. So now I get 2 more. Okay. Oh, there you go. We got love. The heart of love is the heart of creation. All is possible through love. All is worthwhile for love. May all you think and feel reflect love's eternal truth. I want to get one more. But yeah, that's really good because, yeah, no matter what happens in this connection, like, there is love to be felt here. There is this connection, whether or not, like, because this 3D obviously can be very different sometimes from the spiritual, and ultimately you and your person came together and met through the spirit of love, and it may not always make sense, but even if that's to grow and to experience self-love, y'all are spiritual partners, and it could even be karmic, it could just whatever it is, it's through love, and it's to bring you closer to yourself. Yeah, okay. Then we had integrity. Be flexible, but also be true to you. Stand by your beliefs and values, and others will stand by and believe in you. And I think, like, this is pretty much what I was trying to say earlier in one of the lessons that you're learning, is to be flexible, but also be true to your own values and beliefs, and you will attract people into your life that stand by those values and truly value. Like, ultimately, this person, like, you know, they can try and become a better person, but at the end of the day, if they don't respect your values, then that's not a person you want to be with. And so, yeah, I mean, if this person can show that they truly respect your values and truly respect you, and that's all they have to do, that's really, like, that's all they have to do, then that is a relationship. I mean, obviously there's other stuff, but that is showing that they actually changed and showing that they deserve you in a relationship, or at least in the values aspect. I think you get what I'm saying. But yeah, I hope this reading was helpful and insightful. I hope that despite the message being a little bit like that it was good, and I hope that it gave you some peace of mind. And yeah, I hope you know that everything is actually going to be okay. Like, it's genuinely going to be awesome. So yeah, little self-plug before we go. If you didn't watch the intro, I am offering personal readings on my Etsy, and that'll be linked. No pressure, but either way, I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. So yeah, bye.